Okay, let's dive in. If you're a parent raising a child with ADHD, you know it can sometimes feel, well, overwhelming.
Mm.
Like you're constantly trying to find the right approach, hitting unexpected bumps, maybe just feeling buried under all the advice out
Oh,
there.
there's so much information.
So this deep dive, think of it as a bit of a shortcut. We want to cut through that noise and get to the core strategies, the insights that can genuinely help your child, and really the whole family.
Exactly. And we've looked at quite a range of stuff. School accommodation guides, general parenting tips for ADHD, research on how it affects learning and behavior.
And also guidance from places like CAGD and Nemours Kids Health, right?
That's right, reputable sources.
So our mission here is pretty straightforward. Pull out the most practical, actionable advice. Things you can actually use to support your child with ADHD, both at home and, crucially, at school, to help them succeed.
Okay, so first things first, let's just be clear on what ADHD is. It's a neurodevelopmental condition.
Meaning it's about brain development and function.
Precisely. And it mainly affects things like attention, activity levels, regulating those, and impulse control. We see these persistent patterns of inattention, hyperactivity, impulsivity.
And the key is that it interferes with daily life. It's not just kids being kids.
No, exactly. And it's pretty common, maybe 5 to 10% of children.
Now, this is where I think it gets really interesting, and it's something parents need to grasp. It's easy to see the behaviors and get frustrated, right?
Very easy.
But often, these challenges aren't willful disobedience. They stem from differences in what's called executive function.
Right. The brain's command center, essentially.
Yeah, like the CEO managing planning, organizing stuff, controlling impulses, sticking with a task.
All those crucial skills. And when
Mm.
there are deficits there, which is common in ADHD, it looks like certain behaviors, but the root is neurological. Their brains just work a bit differently.
And it's fascinating, or maybe important to realize how that ripples out, doesn't it? It impacts the whole family.
Oh, absolutely. Siblings might feel overlooked sometimes. Parent stress levels can definitely go up.
Yeah.
It just highlights why you need compassion, yes, but also consistency, a really informed approach.
Okay, so let's get practical. Building that supportive home environment. Where do we start? What are the concrete steps? Structure and routine seem huge.
Foundational.
Yeah.
Absolutely foundational. For a brain that processes things differently, predictability is like gold.
Ah.
When things follow a pattern, happen in the same places, it just reduces the mental load, clarifies expectations. It really boosts their chance of succeeding with daily tasks. It's like giving them a clear map.
So practically speaking, what does that look like? We're talking simple rituals.
Yeah, simple, consistent rituals. Set times for meals, homework, play, bedtime. Laying out clothes the night before, backpack packed by the door, little things.
And tools, like timers.
Oh yeah, visual timers can be fantastic. Clocks too. They make time tangibles, help with transitions, which can be tricky.
Okay. And what about their overall schedule? It is less, sometimes more?
Often, yes. Too many activities, even good ones, can lead to overstimulation. That makes focus even harder.
Right.
And think about creating a quiet space, not for time out, but like a calm down corner, a haven they can retreat to.
Good point. And modeling it ourselves. Does that help? Like trying to be organized.
It definitely can. Leading by example sends a subtle but powerful message.
Okay. Structure, routine,
Yeah.
check. What about the overall vibe? The positive atmosphere. Seems basic, but critical.
Hugely critical. A parent's attitude sets the tone. Keeping things positive, having a sense of humor sometimes, it can really diffuse tension.
And reminding ourselves it's not deliberate misbehavior.
Yes. Remembering the ADHD is behind many of those behaviors, not malice, and actively focusing on their strengths, genuinely believing in them, that's fuel for their self-esteem.
It's demanding, though. Parenting a child with ADHD takes energy. We need to talk about parent self-care, too, right?
We absolutely do. It's not selfish, it's essential. If you're running on empty, you can't be that supportive parent.
So finding support, taking breaks.
Taking breaks, looking after your own health, physical and mental, it all matters.
Okay, now, movement and sleep. Physical activity seems like a no-brainer for kids with lots of energy.
It's fantastic. It helps burn off that energy, sure, but it can actually improve focus afterward. Paradoxical, but true.
And the sources mentioned certain types of activities might be better, less downtime.
Yeah, things like basketball, maybe hockey, martial arts, even yoga, which has that mindfulness component too. Activities where they're consistently engaged.
And getting outside. Green time.
Big thumbs up for green time. Spending time in nature seems to genuinely help soothe some ADHD symptoms.
Okay, and then sleep. This can be a real struggle.
A huge struggle for many families. Poor sleep makes ADHD symptoms so much worse.
So consistent bedtime routine is key here too.
Absolutely. And maybe starting it a bit earlier. Things like cutting screen time an hour before bed, no caffeine in the afternoon or evening.
Creating like a buffer zone?
Exactly. A buffer with quiet stuff like reading, cuddling, maybe calming scents, relaxation sounds. Some families find white noise helpful too.
Makes sense. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Nutrition, always a hot topic.
It is. And the consensus is diet doesn't cause ADHD, but it definitely affects mood, energy, and behavior.
So stability is the goal.
Stability, yes.
Yeah.
Regular healthy meals and snacks, no more than, say, 3 hours apart, keeps blood sugar steady.
Which means less junk food around.
Ideally, yeah. Prioritize whole foods, limit the processed stuff, especially at home where you have control.
And maybe a multivitamin. Some sources mention that.
Some do suggest it might be beneficial. Always best to chat with a pediatrician about supplements, though.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Okay, last piece for the home front. Self-esteem. This feels really important.
It's incredibly important. Kids with ADHD, especially the inattentive types, often struggle with self-worth because they face challenges daily, get negative feedback.
Yeah, that really resonates. So praising effort, not just results.
Yes. And being specific, I saw how hard you worked on that math problem, even when it got tricky. Notice the effort.
And finding their strengths. That mirror traits idea.
I loved that term. Yes, identify what they are good at, what they enjoy, and lean into it. Let them shine.
Break big tasks down.
Into tiny steps. Praise each step. Build that momentum, that feeling of, I can do this.
And dedicated positive time. Just one-on-one.
Crucial. Even 10-15 minutes a day of focused, positive interaction. Also, practicing social skills, maybe role-playing.
Using code words during playdates. That's clever.
It can be a subtle way to guide them. But underlying all of it, unconditional love, letting them know you're always in their corner. That's the foundation.
Okay, wow. That's a lot for the home environment. Now let's switch to school. This can feel like a whole different ballgame.
It really can be. And it's vital to understand how ADHD impacts learning specifically.
Right, the attention difficulties, obviously, but also organization, managing time, working memory.
Working memory is a big one, holding information in mind to use it, and filtering out distractions in a busy classroom.
Yeah, that's tough. And it can lead to inconsistent grades, missed homework, huge frustration.
Huge frustration for the child, definitely. And sometimes, unfortunately, teachers might misinterpret it.
See it as laziness or defiance, maybe label them a problem student.
Which is exactly why understanding the support systems like IEPs and 504 plans is so critical for parents.
Okay, let's break those down. People hear the terms, but what's the difference really?
So an IEP individualized education program is for kids whose disability, like ADHD, significantly impacts their educational performance, meaning they need specialized instruction.
Okay, specialized.
A 504 plan is a bit broader. It's for any disability that limits a major life activity, like learning. It focuses on providing accommodations in the regular classroom so the student has equal access.
Accommodations.
Yeah.
Like changes to how things are taught or tested.
Exactly. And importantly, both IEPs and 504 plans are free for parents. The school provides them.
And the range of accommodations, especially for inattention, it's quite extensive based on our sources.
Oh, yeah. Lots of possibilities.
Like seating arrangements.
Definitely. Sitting in a quieter spot near the teacher, maybe near a good role model, even just more space between desks can help reduce distractions.
Makes sense. And extra time.
Extra time on tests, assignments, breaking big assignments into smaller chunks. Help with setting goals, giving instructions one step at a time, maybe even reducing the number of questions needed for a grade or less homework.
Wow. Okay. Using cues.
Yeah, self-monitoring cues, maybe private signals between the teacher and student to stay on task.
Both written and oral instructions.
That can be really helpful. Peer note takers, clear, simple instructions, getting the student involved in the lesson somehow.
That's a lot of practical stuff.
It is, and it goes beyond just inattention. There are accommodations for impulsivity, too, like ignoring minor behaviors, using immediate rewards.
Support for needing to move.
Right. Allowing standing, seat breaks, short movement breaks, help with checking work.
And addressing mood, academic skills if needed, organization.
Yes, help with organization notebooks, assignment books, maybe an extra set of textbooks for home, even things like keyboarding instead of handwriting if motor skills are an issue.
Compliance strategies, socialization support. It covers a lot.
It really does. The goal is to tailor the support to the individual child's needs.
Which brings us back to collaboration, right? Parents have to work with the school.
Non-negotiable. You need that strong partnership, regular meetings, open communication with teachers, with the whole school team. That's how these plans become effective.
One source mentioned electronic portals, too, for communication.
Yeah, they have potential for connecting parents, teachers, doctors, but sometimes there are practical hurdles, like getting everyone using them consistently.
Okay. So we've covered home, school.
Mhm.
What about other strategies? Behavioral therapy comes up a lot.
It's a really effective intervention.
What does that usually look like?
Often, it includes parent training, teaching parents specific techniques to manage behavior at home.
Giving parents tools.
Exactly. For older kids, CBT cognitive behavioral therapy can help them manage their own thoughts and behaviors. Positive reinforcement is key. Social skills training can be really beneficial too.
And it ties back to structure and routine again.
Always, consistency is huge.
Mindfulness was mentioned too. How does that fit?
Mindfulness can help improve concentration and manage stress. Just learning to pay attention to the present moment, become more aware of thoughts and feelings, it builds self-regulation.
Good tool to have. Now, we should probably mention medication. It's often part of the picture, but we focused elsewhere today.
Right. Medication is frequently part of a comprehensive plan, often very helpful. But yeah, today was about the support structures, the school piece, the behavioral strategies parents and schools can implement.
And making it all work together relies on coordinating care, doesn't it?
Mm,
Everyone talking to each other.
absolutely. Parents, school, pediatrician, or therapist. That communication loop is essential for effective management.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, let's quickly recap. We've really hit on creating that structured, supportive home,
The foundation.
understanding and really using the school supports, the IEPs, the 504s, all those accommodations,
Being an active advocate there.
and implementing those behavioral strategies, focusing on the positive.
And the big takeaway for parents listening has to be that, yes, it takes effort, but with understanding, patience, consistency, you can make a huge positive impact. You can help your child truly thrive.
Absolutely. So here's a final thought for you to mull over. Think about how even one or two small, consistent changes, maybe in a routine, maybe in how you communicate, could start a positive ripple effect for your child and for your whole family. What's one thing from today you might explore?
And if you are looking for more detailed information or ongoing support, remember those organizations we drew from. CHAAGD is fantastic. Children and adults with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Their website is helpforadhd.org.
Good resource.
Also, places like the Partners Resource Network, printexas.org, and helpguide.org have lots of useful information.
Perfect. Ultimately, remember, this is a journey, right? It's about learning, adapting, and celebrating your child's unique strengths along the way. You've got this.